Alright, welcome everyone to my round robin. Just decided to do an after party after our quick conclusion to that Shogun 2 campaign event. We'll get straight into it. I don't know if Tao is present just yet. I'll double check. If he is, he'll fight Piper. If not, of course, we can just skip the turn. Tao did warn us that he might be a little bit late. Or he might have to go AFK for 20-30 minutes, but that's fine. He's willing to do multiple fights in a row, as per the usual. We will give him about a minute to join, and we'll try Parsec. I know Steam has been working really well for people lately, but we will give Parsec a try first, uh, just to see if it's working well and if we're not having bugs or anything like that. But Steam is available as a backup option if people have trouble with connection or anything like that. So don't worry if Parsec isn't working out. Give Tao, I don't know, 40 seconds to join, and then we'll just quickly move on, just for efficiency's sake. Nice, he's here. Obviously, we're not going to disqualify anybody until, like, the very last moment. I'll get in the commentators. If anyone wants to commentate with me, you are more than welcome. I know a lot of people are hanging out in voice chat anyway, so if you guys are interested in commentating, please do. Tao had a problem with their connection. Okay. Maybe I just didn't accept him in time. That could also be part of the problem. But he's here. We're going to do this quickly for Tao's sake as well. Oh, my bad, the names aren't actually showing up for you guys. Should be now. And let me go on to display capture. Or game capture, I should say. Should display Hellish Quart. There we are. Regular round robin rules, I'll go in and make sure we have 7 flags. I don't think we do at the moment because I was doing a different event. Alright, let's go. 1 round, obviously, per match. We're doing this with the regular round robin rules, but you do get 7 flags. So at least the rounds are of a good enough length. We're doing void map, not reinventing the wheel. Nor are the fighters. We got Gideon against Alex to start us off. If you're wondering why it took just a little bit longer than I intended to, I was grinding some coffee that I got. Correct the TV. No, we're doing points first. But then points difference, yes. I'll make sure it's correct, though. Yeah, appreciate the reminder all the same. Alright, Piper's got 3 flags, starting off with a bang there. Another trade. Push from Piper, no kill though. Tower's able to block that somehow, as Piper fumbled it. But it was a good try. The intention from Piper was good. There's a grab from Tao. Tao knows how to grab in the middle of attacks, and Piper is known for his aggression, so it's actually a very good idea against someone like Piper using Alex, who moves forward really quickly, but it can make him vulnerable to a grab. Piper actually spending a lot of stamina with these moves. Tao is able to block, but the push is not able to go through because of those attacks. That is the danger of pushing, is that cuts can have priority over it if timed properly. There's another kill for Piper. Tao on the back foot now. Piper's looking for some blood. After Tao's Alliance was able to defeat the Mori, and somehow that cut, I think it almost clipped Gideon's nose, but no kill. Incredible. Goes for the jump, but the push interrupts the upcut, and Piper still gets it. I think Tao's intention there was great, but oh my goodness, Piper still got it. Okay, that was 7-4 for Piper. All right, rank by points scored, tie break. Just making sure that's in order, should be in order, beautiful. Alright, yeah, Venator just reminded me to make sure that the tie breaks are working properly. They should be at the moment now. Okay, Oak against Eve. We got some killers here. Yeah, I think Tao had some good intentions there, but it maybe should have been a little bit closer at least. But it's okay. It's the game we're playing. At least the character's movement speed has clearly been increased, I would say. It doesn't seem like Alex just has an objective advantage now in that regard. Although his footwork is still, without question, very, very good. But this is going to be a crazy saber fight. A lot of sabers, I'm sure, going to be in this tournament from what I'm seeing. Although we did see Pico join us. Oak should have keyboard. Yeah. They know their sides already. Oak is on the left, Eve on the right. Got another Gideon coming out. And like I said, we'll try to run through this as quickly as possible to maximize fight time. And since we already spent an hour on the other event, I don't want to keep you guys any longer than we need to. But that's not to take away from the fun. That's the beauty of round robins. We can just go right into the next match and not think about it. Good exchanges. A to B. I also didn't want to leave anyone out. I knew there were some people who were active, but maybe they were eliminated from the Shogun campaign, or they were more interested in Hellish Quart, or whatever the case might have been. Thought it'd be nice to host this. Didn't want to do double elimination because that could keep us for another 3 hours, which is still okay, but usually the Friday ones are more of a marathon, so better to leave it till Friday. If we're gonna do some kind of marathon thing. That upcut isn't able to connect. Eve getting another kill. That's not to take away from Friday events, of course, though. Friday events are amazing. Some of my favorites that Venator hosts. And I'm glad we're doing the Olympics, too. That looks really exciting. Upcut there from Eve. Tomorrow is full night shift, yeah. Yeah, I could tell. That's the other reason I didn't want to do some long format today after the Shogun 2 event. And I'm glad that event, didn't take so long too, actually. Despite being somewhat complicated, it still, I'd say it moved relatively efficiently for what it was. And yeah, I think I'll do less people per clan next time. We'll get more clans involved, and that'll make things really spicy. It might take longer if the order's at that point, but yeah, I'll be sure to set aside time for that, and yeah. Gotta be more organized this time, be shorter, still long overall. Alright. Yeah, even if it does take a long time, though, that's fine. I don't mind. I'm happy to stick around for the full shift. 7-4 for Eve. After a nice back and forth. Venator against Pekla. GG, guys. Sorry I wasn't focusing on the commentary there. Venator, stick around, by the way, after your fight, because you will be fighting Eve immediately after. Just gonna kick you out for now, Eve, just to preserve bandwidth where we can. I'm glad the connection is, at least as far as I know, for everyone, smooth so far. But if we're getting stutters, I should say, or anything of the sort, let me know. The FPS, we're not having any issues with that. I saw some strange bug, I think Venator mentioned it too, where it would stutter very, very briefly. And you could see it in the FPS counter, but then it would be back to normal. It wouldn't necessarily influence the fight, but it would just throw you off a little bit. You need keyboard. Yeah, thanks, Pico. I somehow forgot. There you go. Also, you're on the left, Pico. Swap sides, guys, if you got the sides wrong. Yeah. Pekla on the left, Venator on the right. Is there a problem? Oh, whoops. You're... Never mind, yeah, I got the sides wrong. That's my bad. You're on the... I got them mixed up because I saw Eve's fight, and it said you were on the right. That's my bad. Yeah, I was reading a different fight. That's why I misread that. Beautiful. What happens when you're trying to rush through it a little bit. Yeah, so keep an eye out for those mistakes, guys. So far, the scores shouldn't be wrong, but feel free to double check those as well and whatnot. Venator going with Zera, which is an interesting pick, although he has played Zera before. Isabella is definitely his main. It's sort of a reversal of characters here, actually. Pico's been playing a lot of Isabella as of late, trying to master her now. Very versatile player, Pico. High guard from Venator. Thrust almost lands. Very good try there to trick Pico and call him out there with those cancels. I love the active Isabella style from Tekla. I'm sure some Isabella players are taking some notes here. Of course, Pico has a particular style that he likes to apply to a lot of characters. And I'm sure a lot of the Isabella players might not be looking to replicate it exactly, but they might be looking to implement some of these tools that Pico is employing to their advantage. There's a hit, though. Venator just staying calm and punishing Pico as soon as he sees an opportunity to do so with those stabs. Backs off. Retreat X this time. Thrust attempt doesn't land. Both going with low guards as well, trying to bait each other. Tight cuts from Pico. A cut. Venator is provoked into a stab. But the samurai from Venator. Zera's reach is definitely helping him out a lot here. Able to call Pekla out before Pekla realizes he's in danger. Goes in with his work. Snap cut misses. The pommel strike lands, as does the cut and the dash. Perfect follow-up from Pico. He really needed that to secure the kill right away. Very kendo move there, as I've said before. Trade there. Sidestep. Actually, 2 hits are not able to kill Zera there. So no kill for Pico. He did one of those tight cuts that don't necessarily do a lot of damage for Isabella. Pekla's gotta be careful. All it takes is one good hit. Good sidestep into the snap cut to the head. So we still gotta be careful though. And again, even if you're losing, it's still good to score points. Another one for Pekkala. Because if you score points, in the long term, it can really help you, especially if somebody gets a bad performance. Winning is the most important thing, obviously, like any event, because that's scoring you the most points, but you still don't want to be in a situation where you're scoring very few points. That's very bad, because we tally up the points at the end. That will play a huge role. If you win everything, you don't have to worry about points, but if you're losing, better to score as many as you can. And Pico did great here, 7-5 for Venator. Now Eve. Gonna have to fight Venator now. And I'll go AFK for just a second, but I'll make sure the fighters can get in and play and whatnot. I know Eve's around. Venator's still here. Beautiful. Give Eve like 30 seconds or so. Nice. Here he is. Okay, Eve on the left, Venator on the right this time. And like I said, I'll be right back, but I'll just make sure you guys can get started with the fight. Just 1 second. Alright, looks like Eve took it. Nicely played, both of you. Very, very close. Alright, Piper against Oak now. Piper gets the left side and Oak gets the right. And I suspect that Tao will be away by the time we get to his fight, and that's fine. We'll just, we'll skip it for the time being. That means I won't get to fight right away, but that's okay. Well, actually, no, I get to fight Oak, so that's all good. I get to run the gauntlet, so that works out perfectly. I'm mentioning the fight because so many people are on their game today. Really good tournament so far. Again, Piper left, Oak right. You got this amazing coffee brand. If you're wondering why I was spending some time grinding it for the tournament, um, it's such a dark roast that it actually smells. Like it's not like the most unpleasant smelling thing ever, but when you smell it, it really hits you. It's definitely been roasted for a long time by coffee standards, and you can taste it too. It's very earthy, but I really like it. But you smell it, and it's like it almost knocks you out. That's how strong it smells. Nice push. It's kind of like those French dark roasts. If you're familiar with French coffee, they roast it pretty dark. In fact, darker than pretty much any other place in Europe. It's kind of like that. It's not a French roast though. It is a local brand, but definitely inspired, I would say, by that. Anyway, back to the fight. Yeah, exactly, Pico. Oak is getting a lead now. He's able to get momentum away from Piper, and this is where Piper really can run into trouble. There's a grab from Oak inspired by Tao, perhaps, and actually Oak takes it pretty convincingly. That's quite a loss for Piper. 7-2. Oak is on fire. Everybody's on fire, though, to be honest. That's what it feels like. But that's the thing that Piper, the problem that Piper can have sometimes is his momentum is just overwhelming when he gets it. But if you're able to take it away from him, it's like he's got nothing. It's like a wave crashing against a rock. If the rock is able to hold, then the wave just dissipates. And Oak is also really good at coming back. So I think in some ways Oak on his top game, if he's able to get that comeback, is one of the toughest obstacles for Piper, if not the toughest to fight. Can we try Steam? I mean, we can, but Parsec seems to be working well so far. But yeah, if you need Steam, I can give you Steam. That's not a problem. Pico likes it super bitter. Yeah, I like it really bitter too. Dark roast is my favorite. Some medium roasts are really good too, but light roasts are boring. I don't drink those. I know like most people do prefer light roast, but I just think it has no character. It's kind of watery almost, like weak tasting. There are some good quality ones out there that can taste good, but it's still not my preference. It's like you've muted the coffee a little bit. Yeah, and with dark roast, like you can get some nice flavors too. Some of them even do have a sweetness to them as well. So it's not like because I know people like the light roast because they're sweet, but a really good dark roast can have a caramel taste to it, like a sort of dark caramel taste or a nice nutty taste to it. Sometimes a dark chocolate taste, so but I get that that's also perception. Like it all depends on what you prefer. Because there's obviously a lot of people, like, they would drink the stuff that I drink and be like, it's just bitter. What are you talking about? So. Good aroma, taste is just as bitter as possible. I see, yeah. That's weird. Barbash's sword bouncing off Sam there. Also, somehow Steam seems to be causing FPS drops. Hope Tao's not feeling them. Nice, yeah. Alright, GG Tao, 7-4. A lot of 7-4s this tournament. I still gotta fight Oak. That's funny because I'm noticing that Steam is actually causing some strange FPS drops. I don't know how it would cause that, but that's what I'm noticing anyway. Because I'm feeling it now, but oh well. At least we were both feeling it. It's not like it was a case where somebody else was lagging or something like that, 'cause that's never fun. It could just be the game too. Maybe it's just chance that that was happening, but I wasn't noticing it when people were on Parsec. We'll see though. Oak is gonna try Parsec. I believe you're on the left, Oak. Venator said it was smooth on Parsec. That's good to hear. So whatever Parsec wide, at least I think that's what it was, Parsec wide issue was happening might not be as bad. On Tao's host though, I will say Steam is very good though, regardless. Yeah, interesting. Steam was causing stutters, it looks like. So we'll try and stick with Parsec. unless people run into problems. That's weird though. I don't know why it would do that. Yeah, looking very good. GG. Yeah, there were some times there I was surprised my cuts weren't landing, but Oak was hitting me each of those times, so it was not a good time regardless. Okay, Venator against Piper. Yeah, Oak is a beast. That's also... It's just once he gets momentum, there's often not much you can do. He's that good. Just with that in and out gameplay. But let's see what he can do in future fights. Venator on the left. And Piper on the right. Is there a problem? Yeah, Venator's left. Not working. Oh, because of Steam. That's why. Yeah, so also because of that, I might have to restart the game. Because of that, let's try and stick with Parsec. That's the other reason I want to stick with that. Yeah. So unless we absolutely have to, we're gonna not use Steam. Yeah, if Parsec's fine, we're just gonna not reinvent the wheel. Although I know Oak sometimes does get issues with Parsec for some reason, so if that should happen, we will still use Steam, but Parsec will be our default. Venator trying to make a statement here using Alex. Let's see what Piper can do. He is a good Alex player, to be fair. This isn't like some random pick. He has used Alex from time to time for quite some time lately. But Piper is the Alex main, so a victory here is still pretty huge for Venator. Big cuts, push. Nice, double. Goes low, good hit. Nice jump from Venator, and Venator's doing amazing with Alex. Piper's got to change something to dodge the jump. Venator really wanted to secure that kill. Piper's the one saying don't jump. Who would have expected that? Venator the one jumping, Piper getting fancy there. Perfect dodge of that low cut. Showing some of his knowledge of the character here, some of these counters. That's a double. Another kill for Piper. Piper now not that far behind. He's made some really good adjustments. Not just moving forward recklessly, but doing some counters. But Venator still secures another kill. Venator needs one more. Still, Piper has scored some points. That's huge. Goes low. Push out of measure. The cut to the head doesn't connect, but somehow the back Y is still able to finish Venator off as he exposed himself. Down forward Y, and now it's down to the wire. This is an intense Alex mirror. Piper's been able to get some flags back. Is he going to fumble? He does the leg void into the retreat Y as Venator tried to go low. Excellent from Piper. Proving he is still the Alex main. But that was very close. It could have easily been Venator's there. But Piper was ready, I assume, with back Y, and then he got that leg void. That was great. And it felt clean, too. That fight didn't seem to have, like, really any weird moments, I would say. So, all of that back Y was surprising. It was a hand snipe, so. Yeah, I think that's the one not Venator, Piper is talking about. It could have been Venator's there for sure, but. Yeah. Yeah, Eve was on the edge of his seat there watching this fight. I was too. Alex mirrors have the potential to be just utter chaos, so. Peckle against Eve. Yeah, it happens to the best of us, Venator. I feel like I fumbled some against Oak too, but Oak is just a beast, so it is what it is. You can't afford to even make those small fumbles sometimes, so. Okay, Pico on the left, Eve on the right. And Pekala, please stay because you'll be fighting Piper right after this. Those Tanzanian coffee beans, the small ones, different flavor, not better, but different. I have not, no. Oh, sorry, I gotta give Pekala a keyboard. I was distracted about, oh, no, he has keyboard, never mind. Yeah, you're on the left, Pekla. Eve's on the right. Trying to join. I thought I accepted him. That's okay. Go ahead, Eve. You should just be able to take the right side. There you go. Goes for Isabella. Yeah, that's actually not super surprising. As for the Tanzanian beans, no, I have not tried those, but that does sound good. I haven't tried Ethiopian coffee either, or anything from Africa, but I really should, because I've heard good things about Ethiopian coffee. But yeah, I'll definitely give that a look sometime. Just been looking for local brands at the moment, but yeah, there's a lot of good options out there, and it's amazing how just the different place that it was roasted can change the flavor so much. Or the place it was grown, I should say, in particular. That's really the big thing. Something about the soil, something about how it's grown, and all this other stuff can all play a role. Ethiopian tends to be lighter than you might prefer, but I'm sure you can get darker style too. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, personally, I'm into French and Italian, if I were to pick stuff from Europe. That's what I would go for. I've also tried Colombian, that stuff's good as well. But you know what, even if it is lighter than I tend to prefer, I'm sure it's still got its own character, so... And yeah, like you said, there's probably a variety. Nice. Sidestep there from Pico. Isabella versus Gideon is a classic. There was a time when Isabella dominated this matchup, and I think she can still absolutely win, but now it's definitely very disputed. Snap cut. The Pico's definitely found some things that work here. And Eve is getting tagged when he least expects it. Good hit to the head. Able to win the trade because of that. Dashes in there, but it's a bit of a bluff charge. Eve is able to call him out. Love Peckler's Isabella style. It's definitely throwing Eve off. He's not used to fighting it. Whoa, that missed actually. The blade didn't even land. Pico was just off to the side or something. I'm not sure what happened there, but it did miss. From what I could see. Pico scored one. Going with a combination. Eve keeping his defense solid. The chop out of measure, but nice try. If Pico tried something there, that would have landed. Good preemptive. Goes in for the upcut. Pico keeps his guard solid. Good patience, actually, from Pico, despite his usage of combos and cancels. Pico will lift it forward, and he gets punished this time. Do second or third count for points? Yes, they do, because the tourney is still big enough. The rule of thumb for a round robin is 6 people at least. We consider that long enough as the minimum. And usually 8's the maximum, obviously, for participants in a round robin, but you could totally do more. Theoretically, it would just take longer. Yeah, minimum 6. As Venator says. Pico needs one more, actually. Very good performance from his Isabella, proving that it is a formidable opponent to fight against. And Eve is just being patient, circling like a vulture, waiting for his opportunity. He doesn't want to challenge Pico recklessly. They've both taken a hit, too. So that's why they don't want to give this away. The names in this event, yeah, like I said earlier, there's tons and tons of killers. This is actually one of the more brutal round robins I've hosted. Because usually there's, like... I don't want to say there's weak competitors, but there's people who haven't been on the server quite as long as the veterans. Whereas here it feels like it's all veterans. Like there's no newer players who are competing. Everybody's so experienced. Everybody's definitely a killer. And that's not to say, like, people like Cherno or Lanz or anybody like that are not formidable opponents. Even Cheesus has been doing great lately with his Samuel, but just the raw experience here is unmatched, I guess is what we're getting at. And it's showing in the fights. Yeah, now it's become a game of chess. Eve with the chop, Isabella able to block it though. Good job from Pico. Snap cut. Both testing each other's guard, but not overextending too much. Pico with a combination, but Eve is able to call him out. And tank that. Yeah, Pico just cracked that little bit, and that's all it takes. Going with a low thrust there to the hand. Good patience from Pico, able to block that just in time. Eve almost had him. That's what Eve is looking for, that decisive hit. And Pico keeps testing his guard, and eventually Eve cracks there. I think he was trying something, maybe doing a feint, and that's all it takes. Pekkala, the beautiful Isabella. I'm really looking forward to fighting it. Another close one, too, which is very good for both competitors, actually. Pekkala, please stay, because you are fighting Piper now. Yeah, it's okay. It's because we got 7 participants. So very often there's a fighter who has to fight twice. Every round. Like, Eve is gonna have to do the same pretty soon, actually. Not right away, but soon. Piper on the left, Pekkala on the right. Curious how these two will match up, because Pekkala's style is quite different. The best Isabella style seen in a while. That is huge praise from Eve there. And that's Pekkala's experience there, because he hasn't... I'm sure he's been labbing Isabella a lot in spars and stuff, but as far as tournament experience, not a lot of experience for Pekkala. But what he does have is a lot of experience with the game, a lot of experience of how feints work, and just the properties of the character, among other things. So even if he hasn't had a lot of tournament experience of this particular character, his understanding of the game and how feinting works still allows him to produce a really difficult Isabella. And that's how Pico rolls. He can just play anybody, and as long as he knows the moveset, he's pretty much good to go with his style. Double. Piper, though, actually has had some amazing performances, too. I think everybody has so far. Pico's gonna have to be careful. This matchup can be difficult for Isabella if you're not careful and you're leaving yourself exposed. But So far, Pico holding his ground. Although that was a hit to the leg. Jump there is blocked, and somehow Pico did a punch that didn't land. But still, combination lands on Piper. Don't jump. Piper goes for a grab. After the jump, Pico still hangs on. And it's a double. After all of that, it's a double. It looked like Piper was getting that for sure with all the pressure, but Pico was staying in it. There's a punch, though. Isabella really does not want it to get messy like that. That's where Alex thrives, I would say. Good defense from Pico. Not able to secure a counter, but this time it's another trade. They've both taken some damage. But it is Pico who can't move. Snap cut from Pico, able to get around the guard. Sidesteps, the push. Pico dashing out of it, actually. I think he got pushed just barely. And that's another double. Pico's doing a good job of finding an opening and taking it, but he's got to make sure it's a kill shot. I think that's where he's sometimes struggling. Ooh, and goes for a hit to the head, but there's the push. That's what Piper does. Yeah, this can be a tough one for Isabella. It's not that she doesn't have tools, it's just Alex has a lot of raw power, and Piper is not afraid to make use of it. Good sidestep. Pico's got to lock in here. Otherwise, Piper will get a decisive victory. The Posta de Vena results in a double. A-cut doesn't land. Oh, down forward Y, but Pico backs away and is able to protect himself. Good patience. Trying to hit the hand. Pico getting a little tired. The pressure is a bit too much to overcome. I'm surprised that cut didn't land, but I still don't think it would have killed. So, you know, Piper secured the kill shot and the win with that. Can't ever sleep on Piper. Yeah, like, all it takes is for him to get some momentum and you're going to have some trouble. Especially in that matchup, I imagine. From my experience with Alex against Isabella, it's just one of those matchups. Yeah, you know, that's how you know Alex is powerful, when the people who've mained Alex are acknowledging how strong he is right now. And are asking for nerfs, not buffs, especially not to the footwork. But I won't get into that. That's a whole another thing. I say just be happy that Kubold is listening. Because obviously he's taken some steps to rectify some of those changes at least, so. And I did tell Kubold that, like, that Alex does feel a bit too strong right now, and that that's in large part why the whole movement change was totally unnecessary, but we'll see what he does with that. Obviously we don't want Alex to be over nerfed, but I did say, like, he is one of the stronger characters without question. So if anything, he needed a nerf, not a buff. And I listed like all of the advantages he has, so we'll see what happens. But I didn't push too strongly for a nerf. Like, I didn't want to go on some anti-Alex rant when my focus was more on resolving the bugs that he introduced and the footsies. But I did make sure to point out, like, yeah, Alex is kind of busted right now, so please look at that. And kind of left it at that after showing his advantages. Because when you rant about stuff to him, he's very likely to just ignore it. So. What the fuck? Yeah, see, the YY is so terrible right now. Bara gets that too, that exact problem. It doesn't hit, it doesn't reach, whatever. GG. 7-5, yeah. Venator's definitely in good form today with Yon. And I have to say, I like this matchup now that Yon received some tweaks there, but still retains some of his advantages, which I like. Whereas Bara obviously has some advantages, so yeah, really like that matchup and good fight, Venator. Okay, so hopefully Parsec works well for both of you, but let me know, of course, if something goes wrong. Yeah, Oak on the left. Isn't he on the left? Hang on. No, never mind. I'm wrong. It even says up there. Tower's on the left, so we're good to go. Going with Sam again. Sam's actually a really solid pick overall, if you're not sure who to use. But Oak's Lasbo has just been on fire. So we'll see. Good stab to the body. Obviously, Sam enjoys a better guard, and I would say reach with his sword as well. So some key advantages there. But Lasbo is a lot better at the pressure game, and obviously hits harder overall. Nice. Very good at the counter game too, I have to say. If you play Lasbo just right, and you're moving in and out. But Tao staying competitive here. Yeah, good from Tao there, sniping the hand. Back Y. Stab attempt, beating the blade. Goes in, nice from Tao. Actually, I was saying Sam's pressure is not that great, but still. He's making good use of that lunge there. And Oak is able to snag a flag back, though. Do not want him to get momentum. Tao threatening a dash in again. Sam also has a good dash and push. And sidestep B as well is another thing that can be tried. Back Ys are filthy. Yeah, I mean, Lasbos are too, but in a different way. As we saw just now. No, that's not to take away from the player's skill, of course. They're both doing great, keeping it competitive. Both have a Vineyard style attack, too. Yeah, Tower's playing this really well. This is generally how you want to play Sam. Yeah, Tao just playing a very grounded style, not trying to crack, but the back Y is not enough. Trying to get some offense going. The stab is beat down. Very clutch move there from Oak. Now they're both doing a similar lunging move. Trying to hit each other. Good movement from Oak. Oh, but Tao did a feint, and then that resulted in a fumbled engagement there, which Oak took advantage of instantly. That's it. Oak takes it 7-5. But good effort. Tao, you're not done yet. If you're able to play again, please join again so that you can fight Venator. And believe it or not, we're on round 5 at the moment, so we're over halfway done. Although we will end somewhat late for the EU players, we're still making good time considering we're doing 2 events today. And I'm glad Parsec's going very well for everybody. Tao, yeah. Excellent. Venator's on the left, of course. Tao on the right. Is Venator using Hassan? Tao is going with Alex. Interesting. Okay. This is not a matchup I've seen a lot of. To be fair, I feel like Hassan versus anybody is a matchup we have not seen a lot of, so I don't know if that's saying very much. Hassan is just not used at all, really. Compared to the other sabers. Punch, yeah. First flag for Tao. Hassan actually does have a fair bit of staying power with his cuts because they have fast chains, but he does have some parts of his body that are very exposed and not a very diverse moveset. And his HP probably doesn't matter so much here against Alex's power. So I think Alex will generally out-trade him. And Alex also does have a very good high-low game. It just takes the hand off, I think, with the wind-up of that whirlwind slash. Crazy. Goes again with a whirlwind, but it's the other variation that doesn't do as much damage at first before the final big cut, so not able to out-trade this time. And Venator's actually doing pretty well with Hassan so far. He's experimented with the moveset, so that's probably helping. Definitely has some ideas of how to approach this. Horizontal cuts are generally a good idea, but they aren't connecting. But still, the push. It's a classic there with Hassan. That is one thing he does have. The jump, though, somehow connecting. I think Venator just got impatient, or maybe was caught off guard. Probably wasn't expecting a jump. Push out of measure, and the wind-up secures a kill again. Oh my goodness. That's an attack that Tao really likes. Venator, I think he did something in like just that split second, and Tao took the hand right off. Dashing in, Tao happy to go on the offensive. The jump out of measure is punished. Hassan is pretty tall, so he can sometimes reach farther than you expect. Good from Venator, actually making this pretty intense. Trick shot is actually a good idea. I remember it working well with Barabash, but isn't able to make it work this time. But still secures a kill, making it even. Tao's got to be careful. Exchange there. Tao tries to hit him. Yeah, again, the windup gets him. Not even the big cut, just the windup of that slash is enough to secure the kill. Looks like I'll get my wish, though. I'll be fighting Pico now. Alright. Pekla, you're on the left, I'm on the right. Then it'll be Eve's turn to fight twice. He'll be fighting Piper first, then he'll fight me. After this one. Yeah, I'll go with Barabash again. Wow, GG. Excellent, Isabella. Very hard to read, I have to say. It felt like I had to do a lot of preemptive attacks, like just forget reading altogether and just make sure a threat is applied without exposing myself too much, hopefully. Eve against Piper. Okay, and Eve, you'll be on the left, Piper on the right. This should be a derby here. I can feel it. Sure, Eve is not super happy having to fight Piper, but it is what it is. And what I mean by that, of course, is just that Piper is one of those guys, like Eve was talking about earlier. Like, if you're relaxing too much, if you're not, your head is just not in the game for whatever reason, he will walk all over you. So Eve has to be laser focused. Goes low. I was gonna say the intention was very good, but it still didn't land. But good follow-up, still securing the kill, overwhelming the guard. A cut, nice. Eve is definitely getting a little bit creative here, and he's able to stay. What? That didn't kill. Wow. I swear Eve got 2 hits there with Gideon, and it still wasn't enough. Maybe that one didn't register, that second one. But Eve's got to recover from it, get his head back in the game. And so far he appears to be doing just that, making it even. Goes low, perfect counter from Eve. Instantaneous there, probably a preemptive, but still, it was perfectly executed. Yeah, Eve's looking for those moments to punish Piper when he whiffs, and this time it works. But still being active, using Gideon's footsies and making sure he's presenting threats here and there that Piper has to keep in mind. Retreat X from Piper after the push. I think he fumbled the follow-up a little bit there, but good effort. Y cuts do not land. There was a very good try. Good pressure from Piper, but a hit to the arm from Eve. Still no kill. Sidestep, B cut, push into back wide. Lots of pressure from Piper and not getting tired. Beats the blade into a push. That was quite a blade beat, too. Eve was not able to respond in time. Push into back X, and I think Eve was stunned. And so the forward Y is still able to connect. Push, and oh my goodness, Piper blocks it. I think he also backdashed, but he did block it. It was in range to hit him if he didn't block it. Oh my gosh. This is an intense one, though. It's... Oh, Piper... Eve gets the double just barely. I thought Piper had it because he was doing the whirlwind, which is a very tough move to defend against, and Piper secures another hit. Piper needs one more to secure the victory against Eve. Down forward Y, trying to apply as much pressure as he can. He's got to get his head in the game. Piper's a tough saberist in his own right with Alex. And I'm glad to see, like, everybody's using their... either using their mains or they're experimenting with one specific character. So despite the fact that everyone is a killer, it feels like the meta is very diverse. Obviously, we're missing the rapiers, which is a little unfortunate, but it's just how it is. They're not as popular and whatnot, but still... it is something I really like about this game. Piper is able to take it 7-5. But Eve, you're still not done, as you do have to fight me. Okay, it looks like Eve is still here. Excellent. I'm on the left, Eve's on the right. And Eve's going to be a really tough opponent, so I gotta dig in. He knows Barabash really well, for starters. And his Gideon is among the strongest. Period. Not just among the strongest Gideons, but like among the strongest characters you could possibly fight against. Oh, okay. I'll take it. I'll take it over being dead. Oh my god. GG. That's a Hall of Fame fight. That was such a reckless move on my part. Like, if we play that back and Eve did something slightly different, I'd be dead. But I had to take a risk like that. There was no other way, I don't think. Yeah, that was so close, GG. Amazing Gideon. Oh my god, this tournament is so tough. I love how it was sort of an after-party event. Yeah, and just see who joined, do a quick tourney. But it's become a really competitive one, too. Yeah, this is not an easy tournament for anybody. Yeah, I don't know about you, Eve, but that felt Hall of Fame. Certainly that whole round was great. And I get to fight Piper at the end in such a high pressure round. But that's how it goes. And I'm pretty sure we're even in score. That is me and Piper. So if I want to be ahead of Piper, I have to beat him. I think there's no other way. And if I want to win the tournament, certainly, because I think the hope is there. But I do have to win this fight. There's no other way around it. Okay, Tower's here. Very interesting looking standings, by the way, I have to say. I think Oak would also be in contention if he gets his victory against Venator. And obviously Venator is doing great too, so very competitive. Everybody's looking for a decisive victory at this point, not just a win, but you want to win with something, well, besides what I won with, 7-6, because that gave Eve plenty of points still. So he's in a great spot. Pekola, are you around? I'll give him I don't know, 20 seconds more or so. And if not, I can just move on. Oh, nice, he's here. Forget it then. Tau versus Pekola. Uh, no, I'm alt-tabbed. Or not, you know what I mean. I'm in a different window. Should be able to see it now. Let me know if you still don't, though. Otherwise, yeah, you should reconnect for sure. 1 second. Pico doesn't have keyboard. Tau on the left, Pico on the right. Nice. Goes of Alex. So hopefully we got the right map there. My cursor was not on it. But usually it goes with the map that you previously did. Highlights it automatically, so it should be good. Nice. Smart pick from Tau, I have to say. Alex seems to be doing well against Isabella today. Nice, takes the handbrake off. Pekola is having to be a little creative here, I would say, and somehow that cut didn't land. And Alex just goes ham. Good exchange there. Tau with a combo catching Pekola on the dash. Tau knows Pekola's style very well. He's trying to call him out on those cancels and sidesteps. A-cut backs off, though, doesn't do the full combo. That might have actually been the right move from Pekola, because Alex can often block those cuts coming down, and then immediately punish you. Oh, beats down the thrust there with the wind-up. That's the other thing, it has blade beat potential, not just kill potential. Pekola, again, poses after that A-cut. B-cut to the hand, another cut straight down, but no kill on Alex. Very good try from Pekola. There's a kill, though, finally. Yeah, Pekola's playing this well. It's just, so is Tao, playing to Alex's strengths here. And Tao is trying to apply tons of pressure. And I gotta say, although Pekola... Wow, perfect combination. He did 2 cuts there, actually. One after the other. They're very tight cuts. But I was just gonna give Pekola credit for being so patient against that onslaught of Tao's. That's not easy with any character against Alex. Certainly not a good Alex. So despite Pekola using an active Isabella, he's digging in and blocking when he needs to. And unfortunately, Tao is able to eventually secure the win. But still, gotta commend Pekola for that. He was showing some excellent patience at times. And it allowed him to score more flags than he otherwise would have been able to score. Alright, Oak, it's your turn to run the gauntlet, because you're going to be fighting twice. And that'll be the final round when Oak fights his second time. That was a great fight, though, guys. Alex B. Cray. Yeah. 100%. But I gotta still give Pekola some credit there for playing so well. And I believe... Yes, this is Venator's last fight, because, again, it's an odd number of participants, so there's always going to be a round where you're not fighting. It doesn't mean you're missing out on any points, though, because it's a round robin. It just means you're not, you're just not fighting for that round. Yeah, so this is Venator's chance to get a win. He needs a win here. To make sure he's got good chances of winning. I think if he doesn't win here, he might get a top spot if he gets good points, but the chances of winning the whole tournament are essentially gone, I believe. So, in fact, yeah, Oak gets 2 shots, so like Venator really wants to get the max number of points he can. Yeah, very important fight and a very important round coming up. Oakenlick's going with Laszlo. Venator with Jan, which is a good pick still, I think, despite the nerfs. I don't think Jan really needs the cancels to do well against Laszlo. And that's what I like about what Kubol's done with it, is I think Jan still preserved a lot of his advantages, but... And actually that low thrust is still very good, but... he's still preserving Jan's advantages, it's just that he's getting rid of the bugs, and that's how it should be. And that's mainly what I've been concerned with nerfing Jan, as far as nerfing Jan, just getting rid of the bugs. Beyond that, I mean, obviously I think he should be a solid character. He's a very straightforward character to pick up, and a very classic character, so nothing wrong with him being solid or even being in the meta firmly, but the Quart cancels are where I draw the line. Nice stab from Oak. And it's 1-1. Oak is an absolute monster today, so Venator has his work cut out for him. And again, just like everybody, Venator is looking for a decisive victory. He's not looking for a 7-6 or even a 7-5. He wants a very convincing victory. chop there, feints it last moment, which was probably a good move. Goes low for the stab, almost hitting the lower arm there. Another stab, not connecting. Oak is doing great with his in and out gameplay. Venator's forced against the wall, and good back Y though, still able to tag Oak there. But I was gonna say, like, from personal experience, this really is not a position you want to be in when you're fighting Oak. When you're back against the wall and he's moving in and out, just attacking you when he pleases, and dictating the flow of the fight. Oak is such a precise player that he will have the advantage most of the time when you let him do that. But Venator's not letting him do that, using the reach of Jan. I still think this is an advantageous matchup for Jan, despite the changes. I think the fundamental advantages that Jan enjoys remain. Oh, the trick shot, yeah, it's not a... I did testing with it, and if you follow through with it, it does do better, but I still think it could use tweaking so that it makes use of the curve better, and that it doesn't look like it's hitting a solid wall. And I would happily get rid of the cancel and the back Y in exchange for that. Because I think the cancel and the back Y actually makes it even more janky with how Kupol changed the balance point of the swords. So I think it would be a good idea just as far as making the move look better too. Because when you cancel early with it now, he will not follow through completely. So it's just kind of useless at that point. So it would actually be beneficial to get rid of the back Y cancel, I think. And so I think Kupol should get rid of it. It definitely looks buggy now. And it might have been a bug from the beginning, so... Good, 2 hits from Venator, but no kill. Venator with a dominant performance with Jan. Very smart pick. Needs one more flag to secure the victory. But is Oak going to make a comeback, is the question. Goes low. Back X. Oak's got to watch that stamina. He's taken 2 hits. And there's a stab down low. 7-2. Good victory for Venator. But Oak is not done yet. He's got to fight Pekkala now. Alright, Pekkala is here. Oak, you're not done yet. I'm gonna need you back to fight Pekkala, and then you're done fighting. And then Eve against Tau. Afterwards, that'll be a banger. Every fight's been a banger, I'd say. There haven't been at least that many that weren't. Because the competition is such a high level. Are we doing for time? Yeah, it's been roughly an hour 50, so that's pretty good actually. Because the average length of time is something like 3 hours for a tournament, so if we're making less than 3 hours and we're almost done, then that's really good. Especially considering, again, that I hosted an event earlier. Pekkala, you're on the left. Oak, you're on the right. Posta de Vena there from Pekkala gets the kill. Pekkala testing the guard a little bit. Again, Pekkala looking for a decisive victory just to get Oak out of the competition. And so far, he is making that happen. He just can't let Oak get momentum back. because it can fall apart very quickly if he does. Very tricky Isabella, the most tricky Isabella I've fought in recent times. And that's saying something, because Luck has a mean Isabella too. As does Venator. Snap cut there is deflected. And Oak is able to follow up beautifully. And yeah, this is exactly what Pekla, I think, was hoping to avoid, but it's still 2-2. There's no reason to lose morale. Just gotta keep at it. There's another kill for Oak. Oak is starting to adjust. Oh, Pekla canceled the follow-up there and was able to get out of there. Bunch of cuts, but beat to the punch by Laszlo. And this is what Oak does. You get some progress against him, and all of a sudden, he is just going ham. Back Y. Going forward. YX. No kill. Pekla goes for a stab. It actually hits the leg, though. Somehow it was deflected into the leg, and Oak is still able to do a lunge, despite the fact that he was limping. And another lunge there to the belly. The belly is actually proving to be a good place to aim for against Isabella. Stab attempt. The snap cut is cancelled. Maybe Pekla should have gone for the punish. There's a good stab, though. Oh, but Pekla is not able to score a hit, despite his best effort there. Oak able to seize initiative. And he does what Oak does best. That was 7-3. So at this point, Oak has scored as many points as he possibly can in the tournament. And we'll see what happens from there. It is not possible for him to win, but thank you, Oak, for competing all the same. You definitely got a really good score. It's just a lot of people got a good score as well, so we'll see where you're placed. Eve against Tao now. Yeah, Eve already a little concerned about Tao's Alex. Oh, he wants a Gideon mirror. Let's see what happens. Obviously, no pressure, Tao, but we'll see if you decide to do the Gideon mirror. I get to fight Piper right after this, and that'll conclude the tournament, believe it or not. Eve on the left, Tao on the right. I think they're discussing whether they want to do a Gideon mirror or not. Okay, let's see. Again, Eve on the left, Tao on the right. Some banter in the chat, the Discord. There's a Gideon there. Zera, possibly. No. Goes with Gideon in the end. Wow. I'm actually surprised, given what I just saw. I guess Tao wants to be the quote-unquote better person. and accept the offer of a Gideon mirror. Or maybe he just enjoys it more than the alternative. Big cuts from both of them. Nobody's been hit yet. Push out of measure. Tao could have punished it, but probably didn't expect a push. So there is no punish. Lag. First time we've had that. Looks like Tao's good to go. Eve good to go. Nice. Alright. Could have been an accidental pause too. These things happen. Low cut. X cut is ducked because he was hitting the leg. Wow, and Tao gets it. And that was literally the only reason Tao dodged that, was because he was hitting the leg. And Eve queued that cut to finish it off, and it just didn't land because of that. Amazing stuff. And that's a flag for Eve. Chop doesn't land. They're both trying to snipe each other. Lunge goes low. Nice, A to B. Those low cuts are just, they just make mincemeat out of you. Punch into cut, nicely done. That's a good trade there. Nobody's been killed, though. Thrust misses there. Tao waiting for his opportunity to once again launch this combo. A and the B. It's actually one of my favorites when I play Gideon. So, a good find there from Tao. Obviously knowing the moveset inside and out. Chop. Ooh, another chop from Eve trying to hit the hand, but doesn't quite land it there. The B cut, though, takes the hand right off for Tao. And it's funny, Eve really wanted the Gideon mirror, but it looks like that's not going super well for him. But these things happen. Tao is also a very good Gideon player. Goes low, doesn't land. Left foot forward, the push, and Tao takes it. And it's a decisive victory for Tao, taking Eve out of the competition, it looks like. As far as getting number 1 or maybe even the top 3 spots, but we'll see. What was that? 7-2. Yes, 7-2. And that's exactly what Tao is looking for. And now for Piper and I, it's pretty simple. If we want any chance of winning at all, we have to get 7 points. You have to win. There's no other way around it. And Venator has scored his 37 points, so he is in the top 3 no matter what. This match will decide exactly where he's placed. Okay. I think I'm on the left. Give me 1 second. No, Piper's on the left. My bad. So Piper, you're on the left. I'm on the right. And this will be the final fight. Let's make it a good one, Piper. Go ahead and take the left. Nice. I expect Alex. I'll go bar bash. Not gonna mess around with Alex Mir. Just gonna go ham with my main and see what I can do. High pressure for both of us. Good luck. Damn it, GG. Yeah, I don't know what I was supposed to do there. Piper was going ham. Nothing was landing, so GG. No, you did great though, Piper. Your Alex is strong as always. Not just anyone can do that with Alex. So, shoot. Yeah, I just got one there. And let's see who won. Piper, I believe, has won it. Yes, because he had such a great victory there. And Venator, of course, got second. Oak got third. And I actually got sixth place because of that. Because that's how it goes. I had one really bad performance earlier against Oak, and then a even worse one against Piper. So Piper takes it. Well done, Piper. And GG's to everyone else. That was a great tournament and a really tough one as well. That's funny. Venator wanted that Grandmaster, but no, Piper got the victory there. So anyway, great tournament, guys. I lost, but it is what it is. Happens to the best of us. It was still a lot of fun to commentate, a lot of fun to play, and I'll see you next time.